Hi everyone, today we are going to be talking about the surface area and lateral area of pyramids and cones. First, let's review that vocabulary. Lateral area means area of the lateral sides only, not the base. And surface area is the area of the entire surface, the sides and the base or bases. Now, when we're talking about pyramids, one thing you should know is that the name of the base is the first word in the name of the type of pyramid. So if it has a square base, then it's called a square pyramid. If it's got a hexagonal base, then it is called a hexagonal pyramid. Another phrase that you need to know is in terms of pi. Now, when this is said, is how you're going to leave your answer. So, for example, if I were running through a problem and at some point I get the number 8 pi or 12 pi, I don't run to my calculator and type in 12 times 3.14. I just leave my answer as 12 pi. Now this is the answer in terms of pi. So here's another example. The area of a circle, find the area of a circle with a radius of 4 written in terms of pi. First, I know my area is pi times that radius squared, so I plug in that radius, and the only calculation I'm going to do is this 4 squared. 4 squared gives me 16, and I write my final answer as 16 pi. I don't type in 16 times 3.14 in the calculator. I just leave it just like this. That is in terms of pi. Now here are the formulas that you're going to need for this section. There are two formulas, one for each shape for lateral area, and two formulas, again, one for each shape for surface area. We are going to talk about lateral area first here. The lateral area for each of these is kind of similar. For the lateral area of a pyramid, what you're going to need is the perimeter of the base. This capital P here, that stands for perimeter of the base. Oops. Having trouble writing here. Okay, so that P stands for perimeter of the base, and the L, that stands for slant height. Now, slant height is a measurement from this peak. If I were to slide all the way down the face of this pyramid, it's that measurement. So the measurement all the way down, if I were to slide all the way down the face of the pyramid and perpendicular to the base. So that dashed line right there, that would be the slant height, and it is represented with an L, a lowercase or cursive L. And this is the formula for just the sides only, so just those triangular faces. Another way to do this could be that you find the area of each triangle and then add the areas together. That would be fine also. The lateral area of a cone is pi times radius times slant height. Now, the radius is the radius of the circular base, so there's that. And then the slant height again, that L stands again for slant height. So again, that is the distance if you were to slide down the face of the cone, how far you would slide down. So that is that slant height, L. Now, the difference between lateral area and surface area is that surface area has the area of the sides and the base. So that capital B, that stands for base area. That's the area of your base. Okay, and then notice something here. We have that 1/2 times perimeter times slant height. 1/2 times perimeter times slant height, that's lateral area. So basically what they're doing here for the full surface is you take the area of the base and add the sides. Base area plus the sides, or lateral area. That's exactly what this formula is doing. And the same thing with the surface area of a cone. Pi r squared, the the base here is a circle, so we have to use pi r squared to find the area of the base. So we have our base area, and then we're adding the sides, right? Because we know that the area of the sides, the lateral area, is pi times radius times slant height. So we're using our answer from lateral area, and we're just adding the area of the base to it. Here's our first problem. What is the surface area of a pentagonal pyramid with base edges equal to 10, the apothem is 6, and slant height is 22? So I need to find the surface area. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to write down the formula that I'm going to use. So I know surface area of a pyramid is the base area, add to that 1/2 times the perimeter of the base times the height. And all I did was I got that formula from right here, or sorry, times the slant height. Pardon me, I wrote it down wrong. Base area plus 1/2 times perimeter of the base times that slant height. This is the one that I'm using for pyramid, since that's what we're working with here. Sorry, I wrote an H. It's supposed to be an L for slant height. Okay, now this capital B, that stands for area of the base, and notice this is not an easy shape to calculate the area of. This is a regular pentagon, so we need to refresh our memory on how to find the area of a regular pentagon. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to rewrite this formula, but instead of writing this capital B right here, I'm going to replace it with the formula for that pentagon. So I know the area of a regular pentagon is 1/2 times apothem times perimeter, right? This is from before school was let out. This was from week 1, 1/2 times apothem times perimeter. All of that, if you are confused on that, go back to week 1 and look up that content. Rewatch that video for review. And then we have plus 1/2 times perimeter times slant height. Okay, at this point, I think I'm going to start putting the numbers on my figure and then applying and plugging the numbers in to the formula. So the base edges are all 10. So around the base, all of those sides have a length of 10. The apothem is 6, so that means the distance from the center out to an edge, a perpendicular distance, is 6. And the slant height is 22. So that means if I were to slide down the middle of the face of this pyramid, that distance right there, that slant height is 22. Okay. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take these numbers and I'm going to start applying them and plugging them into my formula here. So I've got surface area is equal to 1/2. I know the apothem number. They gave that to us. That's 6. So 1/2 times 6 times the perimeter of the base. Now, if I were to walk all the way around this base, I would end up traveling a distance of 50. So because 10 times 5 is 50. So 50, add to that 1/2 times the perimeter of the base again is 50 times that slant height. They gave us the slant height here is 22. So all I have to do is plug it in. There we go. Now we're going to use a little bit of mental math here to figure out the total surface area. So our surface area is 1/2 of 6, that's 3. 3 times 50 is 150. Add to that, 1/2 of 50 is 25. I'll pull out my calculator here. 25 times 22, that gives us 550. So plus 550. So 150 plus 550, that surface area is 700. Okay, and I wasn't given any units here, so we're just going to say final answer 700.